Alright mate, so have you flown an aeroplane before?
No.
Alright. So we can have some fun. Okay, so.
A couple of flight simulator programs on the PC, but other than that, no.
Alright. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a circuit of Canberra. The whole point of that is so you get used to the controls.
Yep.
Okay, so you just get a feel for them and all that sort of stuff. What they do and that sort of stuff. I'm the world's laziest co-pilot, so you'll be doing most of the stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I'll point to the controls as we need them.
Okay.
Okay. For your sake, the most important gauge is this one here. We call it the N1, and it measures engine power in terms of percentage. So at the moment, we're sitting on the ground, lined up, engines running at 20% power in both engines. Okay. So, but if I push the throttles forward, you'll see a line come out the bottom of each gauge. That one there.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we call it a lead line, and then the engines will spool up to catch up to it.
Oh, okay.
Right, now when I retard the throttles, the same thing will happen. The line goes back, the engines won't wind back.
Oh, okay, that makes sense,
right.
Yeah.
During the course of the flight, I might ask you to give me a certain percentage of power.
Yep.
For example, when we take off, we'll need about 90%.
Okay.
Now, I say about because you'll never get it right.
Yeah.
Okay, so long as we get it around that mark, I'm okay.
Okay.
Right, so don't try to be perfect with it, just get them up there.
Okay.
Alright. So, without further ado, first thing we're going to do, we're going to get the flaps, we're going to lift that up very gently, put that into the 5 slot. Okay, so that's our take-off flaps. We'll take the parking brake off, push it forward. It's as simple as that.
Oh, okay, just one tiny little thing, okay.
Now before we go hold the yoke,
yep.
back towards you, forward, left and right.
Yep.
Okay, so you feel there's a bit of resistance there and it mimics the hydraulics of the aircraft.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so there is a little bit of a lag in the controls.
Yeah.
So if you start turning, give it a second before you'll see the aircraft react.
Ah, right,
Okay, so, and that's typical of the real aircraft.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm going to steer us on the ground, you're going to steer us in the air.
Okay.
Right. Now when we get going, I'll call rotate at the right speed. And what I want you to just gently but firmly bring it back towards you until you feel the wheels come off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
When you do, I just want you to let it go back to the neutral position.
Okay, so if I pull it back, it automatically goes back
It'll go back to a neutral position, and it'll give us a nice climb out.
Okay.
Okay, so without any further ado, give me 90% both throttles. Don't be afraid of them, get them up there. So between the 8 and the 10, that's it. So around there is perfect. That's it. You won't.
You're steering. Right.
Yep. Okay, now we rotated about 135 to 140 knots. I'll show you where the speed is shortly, but I'll just crawl it. And rotate. Back towards you. Yeah, neutral position. That's it. Just lean forward, got that handle there, pull it out, all the way up. There's your landing gear. Okay, now that's what's here. Now what I'll do is a little bit of forward pressure, because we want the little black dot in this screen here, you got the same, start coming down. Okay, I'll take a concerted effort. Now it's just starting to come down now. Just going to do a little bit of a right turn, so just bring it around to the left a little bit. Now bring your throttles back to about 60%. That's it, that's good, right? Okay, now start a left turn. Big left turn. Put that V up there for you as a guide. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is while we're turning, I want you to put the point of the V just below the horizon.
The point of the V.
Okay, so to do that you need to pull back a little bit.
That's right.
2500.
You go tighter than that in the turn. So So still turning left. That's it, that's good. So what we want to do is we want to turn to follow the pink line you can see on your screen there.
Oh, right there. Yeah, see the screen.
Yeah, we're only turning about 10 degrees. We can go as far as 30 degrees.
2500.
Just try to keep that point on or around the horizon, right? That's good. Now that's about 18 degrees angle and bank.
And I assume straighten up again when the pink line gets closer?
Just before we get to the pink line, we'll anticipate it and then we'll start our turn out. Okay, so
2500.
but that's a nice turn rate. That's about 15 degrees there. Start rolling out now. So you can actually be, I hate using the word, but you can actually be a little bit more aggressive coming out of the turn. So you're local, are you?
Yeah.
Whereabouts, mate? Whereabouts you live?
I live over in Belconnen.
Okay. Well, that's Lake Ginninderra just out there on slightly to your left.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So bringing the nose down just a little bit, so just a bit of forward pressure.
Takes a lot of pressure.
That's it, we're holding it just around there somewhere. Now a good key to know whether our wings are level, the two horizontal bars at the top of the V. So when they're virtually straight in line with the horizon, you know your wings are level.
Oh, yeah.
Now conversely, because we will be doing flights without the V, on this screen here,
Yeah.
they represent our wings.
Okay.
So if they're level,
So I'm tilted slightly to the right.
yep.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, now I want another left turn. Again, following the pink line. Now the thing to remember is that when we go into a turn, you know, a tightish sort of a turn, we lose lift on the dropped wing. Okay?
Yeah.
So we anticipate that by just giving a little bit of nose up, and this is where the red V comes into its own. But just keeping the point on or just below the horizon will stop us from actually descending while we're in the turn. Okay, now start straightening up. Okay. As I said, you can be a little bit more aggressive. That's sort of how you want to come out.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so okay, now clear to the turn now.
It takes a little while, a few seconds to respond.
And this is why we do the circuit, so you get a feel for the controls. Now, it is imperative that when we're on final or coming into land, that we keep all the movement as small as possible.
Yeah.
Right? So when I ask you for a turn to the left, I'm not asking for a huge turn. I'm only asking for a very minor turn, and I'm probably only talking 2 or 3 degrees. Right? So it's very, very minor, and the reason for that is if we get too aggressive in the turn, you've got to be aggressive in the correction.
Yeah.
Coming back the other way. So the less we're having to make turns, ups and downs, or climbs and descents, the better we are. We'll make the approach much, much better. Alright, now I've just shortened that arc a little bit. So what we're going to do now, we're going to turn and we're going to follow that green arc.
The outer one. Yep.
Yep, the outer one. So if we start turning to the left now, if you look on the screen, you can see a little tail coming out of the top of the triangle.
Yep.
Okay. If you put the tip of that tail on the arc and hold it there, that will give us a nice turn run.
Kind of close.
That's all right. Yeah, that's what you're doing is fine, mate. You're holding a nice, steady turn. It's not affecting our climb. It's not affecting our speed. But what I'm going to use to do now is reduce the throttles to about 50%.
That's a bit of a trick too. You have to watch in the needle, but you have to watch the tail. Did you call it?
Yep. Okay, so you can see the tail's gone inside. So we inside the arc. So we just straighten it up to the right a little bit until the tail touches the arc again. That's it. Hold it there. But now the other problem we have is we don't want to be turning too far to the right, knowing that when we get to this broken white line here, we're going to turn left to follow it down towards the runway.
Ah, okay.
Okay? So, you see what you've done there now? That is perfect.
Oh, it was. There we go.
Now, I don't know whether you jagged or not, but that worked out beautifully. So, now what we're going to do, this lever here, we're going to bring it to the arm position.
Speed brake.
Yep. Just to there. The auto brake, just turn that to the right to the number 2. Okay, now they both work off sensors from the landing gear.
Oh, okay.
Right, so what happens is that when we touch down, it activates the sensors. So the speed brake is like flat plate devices on the wing.
Oh, okay.
You might have seen those when you've landed before. Okay, and the auto brake is like disc brakes for your car. Okay, now what I want you to do is start a left turn, start following that broken white line.
Really tight turn.
A little bit tighter. Again, now just keep the point.
2500.
Okay, now hold it there.
Bang angle, bang angle.
When you hear that, just bring it back the opposite direction, just a little bit. That's good.
So you can turn aggressive, but there is a point. You can't go back.
It's only limited by the fact that they hold it back to about 35 degrees angle at bank, and that's just mainly for the comfort of the passengers.
Oh, right, yeah.
Okay, now you can see the runway directly in front of us now. The two white lights. Okay, what I want you to do is I want you to put the point of the V about halfway down the runway. And I want you to get the landing gear down. So,
Landing gear was up.
this one here, so pull it out all the way down.
Oh, hang on. Pull back, isn't it?
No, the landing gear is this one.
Yeah.
So pull it out all the way down. Now, bring your throttles back to my fingers, because we've got very high. Very good.
Yeah, I
Now,
think
put
I
the
was.
point of the V between the two white lights of the runway. Now, very, very small turn.
2500.
So just bring the nose up a little bit.
It's that delay that gets me.
Yeah, and again, it's so just a fraction to the right, just a fraction. Now we're going to land very long, but don't worry about that. This is more about the getting a feel for what it's like to land.
Yeah.
So you're actually not doing too bad. So point of the V between the lights. That's it, that's good.
1000. Terrain.
A little bit far.
No, it's not too bad.
500.
Again, it's only very, very small.
400.
So just a touch to the left, just a touch. Yeah, bring your throttles all the way back. And just raise the nose very slightly. Not too much.
Terrain. 20. 10.
Okay. Now the two levers at the front there, just pull those.
Which levers?
Those two there,
Ones,
yep.
yep.
So remember this stage on steering us.
Yep.
Okay, those two levers can go forward now. So your lining up on the runway wasn't too bad at all.
I got it, yeah.
Right, so but
Close.
what happened was that when you couldn't find the landing gear, you were saying, oh, pull back and all this sort of
Yeah.
stuff. So, and we all of a sudden got very, very high.
Okay.
Right,
yeah.
so that's okay. I mean, so what we're going to do now, we're going to leave everything pretty much where it is. We're just going to practice a landing. Not without doing the whole circuit, so that's... Oh, he's doing this to me again. Oh, you'll have to excuse me, mate. This is...
Computers.
Oh, you gotta love them. When I heard that little diddling sound, it worried me. Fortunately, we're ahead of time, so hopefully. I'm wondering what this is going to do to me now. But you're right, computers. Uh-oh, don't want that. Let's see what happens.
Is this one big screen or lots of little screens?
Lots of little screens. So we've got one there, one there, one there, and one there.
Okay.
So okay, well, fingers crossed. Okay, so there's our runway there.
Mm-hmm.
Now this time we're going to do it without the arrow. Okay.
Okay.
Right here. So.
So we're watching the left. What's mine? The left screen.
Yep. Okay. So you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. So we've got a gear down. We're at flux 25.
So want the wings just below the horizon line.
At the moment we're doing really well. Everything's as it should be. So we're just going to back our throttles off a little bit. So let's bring them back down to
30.
Yep.
Now,
Okay, now just start bringing the nose up a little bit.
1,000.
Now this is good, mate. You've got a nice steady hand going there. Now speed is good. Just reduce your throttles just a little bit. Just reduce them, so back to that's it. Okay, now just raise the nose up a little bit.
backwards.
So it's back towards you. That's good. Now the flaps can go to 30, so just lift it up and put it back into that slot there.
Which one? This one?
Yep.
400.
That's good. Now only little turns. So straighten it up now. So bring your wings level. Now just kick it to the left a little bit.
200.
Doesn't need to be a lot. Now just raise the nose very gently.
900. 50. 40.
Straighten up now.
20. 10.
Very nicely done. Okay, the throttles can come off. And the two levers at the front.
Oh, where are they?
That's it.
Right down there. And the brake, everything else is automatic.
Everything is automatic.
Because it's like first time knowing where everything is over here.
Exactly right, mate.
You have to look, and then because then you start going off course. And
Oh, that's half the fun. For me anyway. Alright, they can go off now, so let's push it
what
forward.
do they do?
Okay, that's the engine reverses. So
right.
what that does is the cowlings on the engines actually come back and they actually redirect the thrust forward.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, I've heard that they do that when they're landing, yeah.
okay, so speed brake off, so just push it forward. That flaps to 0. So just lift it up. That's it. Speed brake off. Oh, sorry, handbrake on, and the speed brake, auto brake off. That's it. Where would you like to go?
Queensland?
We can go anywhere in the world. So.
Oh, you mean for a flight?
Yeah.
Germany?
Well, you go to Germany. Where would you like to go?
Oh, anywhere in Germany, I guess. What have you got?
Munich.
Yeah.
Is that it's by Munich?
I thought
Oh,
so.
sorry. Sorry,
No?
I'm operating in the wrong spot.
Oh, that'll do it.
So, city is Munich. M-U-N-I-C-H. There we go. That'll be it.
Yep. Why not?
Okay. Now, so this is we'll be heading off out to the west. Okay, it's daytime. There we are, we're in Munich.
Cool.
Okay, that looks interesting over there with the buildings. Nice colours and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Alright, so flaps 5. So the 5 spot, that's it. Parking brake off.
Brake off. Speed brake.
Is fine. Auto brake's fine. 90%. Now I'm not sure where the city is from here, but so the speed is on the left and the altitude is on the right. Okay,
so
so
it's 72.
yeah. Okay, so we need to be at 135, that's when we rotate. And rotate. Back towards you. That's it, now neutralise. Landing gear up. Okay, now push the nose forward a little bit. And reduce the throttles to about 60%.
60%.
Yep. Now that looks like a city over there.
To the left. Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
that's all farmland over there. Head left.
Yep. Okay, so what you're doing, you're you're free flying now, so just need to bring the nose up just a little bit.
Why is it saying don't think?
Don't sink.
1,000.
Oh, well, that makes a bit more sense.
1,000.
Okay, now the nose has gone up quite a bit, so we want to keep the nose down.
Bring the left wing down to the horizon line.
Well, you're looking to bring it. Well, that works. But we're looking at the black dot be just where it is now.
Oh, right,
On that first mark in the blue.
I was going to say on that first mark in the blue, but first marker there. But okay.
The 737 naturally wants to fly with a little bit of nose up. Okay, that's a good
It's a
attitude.
good way to make it, I guess.
So. So you've been here before, or?
No.
I came here in it was 1980, 84 it would have been.
I'd like to go over there and see Germany and Europe, Switzerland and all that. But, yeah.
I was lucky, I was actually part of a peacekeeping force over in Egypt, and one of the little perks was we got 5 weeks leave.
Oh, okay.
And so a couple of mates and I did a year-old tour of Europe and spent a couple of weeks in London.
Okay.
That was brilliant.
It's an interesting looking stadium.
It certainly wasn't there when we were there, I'm sure. I remember we visited the Olympic Village they had there. Of course, they had the Olympics in '72, and that was the Israeli massacre
Oh yeah. Can we fly to Paris from here?
We could, but that would eat a hell of a lot into it, but we still can go to Paris.
Okay.
So have a look at Munich. The other thing I remember too, they had a telecom tower which is so similar to the one that we have in Canberra.
Hopefully more used than ours.
Yeah. I've got a feeling that might be just down there on the right.
Oh yeah, the edge of the park.
Yeah.
I was heading to that, kind of heading towards see what that funny shape is behind that.
That looks like some sort of
Partly
it looks like,
outdoor. I gather by the red it's an athletic track. But
yeah. It is quite possible that's part of the Olympic, the old Olympic. thing. But I know we visited the, they've got the BMW factory and all those sorts of places.
Oh yeah.
Okay, if you want to start off, turn to the left. Oh, in fact, let's go to the right.
Oh, okay. Does it tell you the angle that you're turning at somewhere?
Right.
Or you just have to...
So the little triangle at the top there?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the little increments there are in 10-degree increments. So at the
Okay,
moment,
so
you're turning at about 12 degrees. So,
And what's my safe maximum? 30, did you say?
the airline's set it to around about 25 to 30 degrees, and that's, as I said, that's more for the comfort of the passengers. You can go to 45 degrees quite comfortably.
That's about 20 now.
That's 20 there, yep.
Pull back a little bit.
Now, if you look at the one on the side, see how the needle's pointing down? That means we're actually descending in the turn. So that's what I was saying, that when we go into a turn,
see
we, drop,
that now. Yeah.
right, we lose lift on that dropped wing. So we have to compensate for that. Okay, now straight on the navigation display, you can see the broken white line.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I was aiming for the pink line, but...
Don't worry about the pink line. Just straighten up there. Now, our track is actually the solid white line. Okay,
Oh, okay.
that's where we're heading. Okay. Now you can see where it intercepts the broken white line.
Yeah.
The outer arc there is 10 miles, the inner arc is 5.
okay.
Right? So that's telling us that we're going to intercept that runway centre line, and that's what the broken white line represents. Okay, at about 10 miles. Right?
It's a very straight, square lake over there.
That, I think, is the what they did the rowing.
Oh, right, okay.
So
That makes sense. So I appear to be dead on track with the solid white line, so I can't see where the track is to tell when to turn.
okay, so what we're going to do is I'll bring that range in a little bit. So that I've just zoomed our range in. So that 5 mark there,
Yeah.
that little increment there, when it hits the line, means that we're actually 5 miles from intercepting from that intercept point. Right, so that point there is 2.5 miles.
Right.
So when we get to the 2.5, then we just start the slow turn to the right. Now, we're going to arm our speed brake. We're going to arm the auto brake. That's number 2. We're going to reduce our throttles to about 50%. See me doing this, all I'm trying to do is just sync the engines up a little bit.
Right, okay.
So there's our airport out there.
Oh yeah, the grey blob.
Yep. So we're not going for the runway on the right, we're going for the one on the left.
Oh yeah, that's the yellow dots.
So
Let's start turning now.
okay, nice and gentle. As we go too quickly, we'll turn inside the runway. So you can see where you've got the tail.
2500.
So you can increase the turn just a little bit. And we're going for that one.
Yeah, it looks like I'm aiming more for the right one, but
Yeah, go for the right one, that's fine. Okay, reduce your throttles just a little bit more. And we can get the landing gear there. All the way down.
all the way. Oh,
Yeah. Okay, so just
you want me to go for the left one or the right
we
one?
go for the right one. Okay, now, not too big a turn, so just start coming out of the turn there. That's it.
Yep. Overcorrecting.
And just lift the nose up just a little bit. So remember what I said about the turns? They don't have to be huge. Reduce your throttles even more. That's it, that's good.
1000.
No, over to the left.
Just raise the nose up a little bit. That's basically what we're doing now. We're just reducing our speed a little bit so we can get our landing flaps out. Just raise the nose a little. Bring your flaps to 15.
Oh. Right, could be.
500.
That's right, now just hold that heading there just for a moment. Bring the nose up, raise the nose,
400.
and just give yourself a little bit of throttle. So just bring
Too low. Terrain.
That's it.
Too low.
Okay,
Terrain.
flaps to 30.
Too low. Terrain.
Lower the nose now. That's it. That's alright. Just raise the nose, raise the nose.
200.
Straighten up, wings level. When he calls 30, the throttles come off.
100.
Let's right back.
Yep.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
There we go, reverses.
And this one.
Okay, the reverses can go off now. Flaps can go to 0. Okay, spoilers can go off, the speed brake can go off, and the auto brake can go to off. Parking brake to on.
It's a weird lever.
I know. But
So all
it's,
these look like proper serious levers. This one is a what?
the only thing that's different about this one is it's actually about that wide, and it actually does come out like that. So it's very similar.
So they're on the real ones.
Yeah, no, no, aircraft. So
It's just weird. What is it like all the rest of the levers? Anyway.
all right. So let's go to Paris. We got one for Paris.
What was that airport we landed at? It was
That,
just another
that was
airport.
that was Munich.
Oh, we went around the circle, did we?
Yep.
Okay.
Now, what one way let me set up on? So it'll be the same deal again. So once it loads up, flaps 5, handbrake off.
Handbrake off.
Oh, good. I know we're running. All right.
Flaps 5, handbrake off. That's don't need that, and
Okay.
that to up to 90.
Yep.
And that, even those are slow to respond. Touch more.
That's pretty good. Rotate. Neutralise. Okay, gear up.
That one. The one that looks like a wheel.
It looks like a wheel, exactly. Okay, start pushing the nose forward. Reduce the throttles to 60. That's it.
Oh,
Keep pushing the nose down.
Airspeed full. Airspeed
That's how we'll get that back. Just keep pushing the nose forward. Start turning to the left. The Eiffel Tower is just around there.
back a little bit.
Okay, just push the nose forward. Straighten up there. Now we are heading directly at the Eiffel Tower. Don't know whether you can see it there.
No, I think that one. Oh, that one there, okay.
But we're climbing, what we want to be doing is descending. So let's reduce our throttles to 50%. Just push the nose forward. Can't see too much more here.
That's neutral. So anything. If I let it go back to neutral, it goes to the first
It'll probably
notch above the horizon.
Now we do have what we call a trim, aircraft trim. What you can do theoretically is you can position it so the nose sort of stays in the one position.
Oh yeah.
But I generally don't advocate getting the clients to do that, because if you actually hold the button too long, you can end up with a full nose up or full nose down,
Oh, okay.
and lose control of the aircraft.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're still sort of steady at the moment, so let's just push the nose forward a little bit. Bit more. see the river there?
Yeah.
Okay, almost in front of us. We're going to be following that. Now, the Eiffel Tower is on the left-hand side of the river.
2,500.
So if you stay just to the right-hand side of the river, that's the River Seine, whatever you want to call it. S-E-I-N-E.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
Down a
Keep
little
pushing
more.
forward, yeah. Now the Eiffel Tower is between the first and second bridge, where the river straightens.
Oh yeah, time to see it now. It's
There's
sort
the
of
Arc de Triomphe just down here.
Oh,
On the
yeah.
right.
Yeah. It's sort of a grey tower in front of grey buildings, so it's,
Yeah. And the building we're about to fly over, the one with the sort of horseshoe,
Oh yeah.
Hitler actually had a famous photo taken in there.
I think I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was in Paris, wasn't it? Or
That
was
was in-
assumed it was Germany.
Yeah. Now I know Versailles is out there somewhere. I haven't been able to find it yet.
I can't find it.
Oh, well, I know it's. I haven't been able to find it in the sim.
Oh right, okay.
So. Okay, what I'd like to do now is a right turn. Remembering when we go into a tight turn, we lift the nose up a little bit as we go.
Pulling back slowly.
Yeah, Versailles was actually quite spectacular. The decadence of the building is something you've got to see to believe. You actually understand why the French people revolted.
Keep turning or?
Yeah. Straighten up there. Okay. So if you look on the navigation display now, you see I've got that. Right. So there's a better view of the Eiffel Tower. It's down on the right there.
Oh yes.
Airspeed out. Airspeed
Now,
out.
if you look where our nose is, our nose has gone right up. Okay, so just point the nose down and that will get our airspeed back. Now, the airport is actually over that way, so we need to go out to the left a little bit.
Oh yes, I can see it.
So ideally, what we're doing, we're turning to position ourselves around about where the pink line intersects the arc. So we prep ourselves for landing.
This one back to whereabouts? There?
Yep, where it
Or
says
anywhere?
armed.
There.
Yep. The auto brake. I'll leave it up to you when you want to get the landing gear down. Well, as a rule, they normally get the gear down at about 10 miles.
Okay.
Okay, so the green arc is 10 miles. So once you cross that, we're actually not high at the moment. If anything, we're a bit low. So you just raise the nose just a touch.
Oh, I have to turn onto the white line, don't I?
Yep. Lower the nose a little bit. Don't turn too soon. So your turn's only quite gentle.
This far out I can do it.
Yeah, it only has to be very, very small. But don't forget, as you turn, the more you turn, the more you're lessening the distance between you and the runway.
Oh, okay, of course, yeah.
So just raise the nose up a little bit. That's actually a nice little turn there. Because you can see the two red lights out there. One of those is going to be our runway.
I suppose there wouldn't be red lights in real life, but they'd be bright lights probably that you could...
Well, what they are is what we call the PAPI. It's Precision Approach Path Indicator. Right? So ideally what you want to see is you want to see two red lights and two white lights.
Yeah.
Okay, and what that's telling you then is that you're actually on the proper glide slope for the approach onto the runway.
Two red lights on the right?
Okay. So we're going for 08 right. Right, so your flaps now can go to 25.
Does that change my descent speed or?
It will allow us to fly slower without
1,000.
okay, because we've got more wing width. Okay, and because of the angle the flaps drop. Now you're right on the.
Looks like I'm pretty nice and straight there now.
You're fairly straight, mate. Probably a little bit to the right. You just touch the left. We're a bit low at the moment, but that's okay. Flaps can go to 30. Just hold the nose up there a little bit. So just a touch more to the left, just a touch. So as you can see, it doesn't take much to change it. So we're just going to give ourselves a touch of power, not a lot, just a little bit, just to hear the engine rev up a little bit. So forward.
500.
That's it. That's good. What that will do is it will lessen or stop the aircraft from descending too much. Just lower the nose a bit. Very short, you'll see one of those lights turn white. So lower the nose. Now you can back your power off a little bit. See the light?
Yeah.
Right?
To the right a little bit.
Yes, just to the right. Just straighten up there. Just raise your nose up a little bit.
500.
Landing gear down.
Speed brakes are armed. And the auto brake is armed. So just raise the nose up just a little bit.
300.
Down a bit short.
That's okay, but if you just bring that nose up just a touch and hold it there, that's fine. Hold it there.
200.
So wings level.
Yeah, I think that's well. We'll just say 30.
100.
30, yep. When he says 30.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10,
Reverses. Now if you were to watch YouTube videos of pilots flying the approach,
Yeah.
what they actually do is they've got one hand on the throttles and the other hand on the yokes.
Yeah.
Right? And then they've got control without looking at it.
Yeah, I'm sure
Right.
they do it every day. They can.
Yeah, so that can go off now. Where else would you like to go?
Oh, jeez. Don't know.
Flaps to 0. Speed brake off.
That's that one.
Auto brake to off. Yep. Keep going. Auto brake.
Oh, auto brake.
The reason I get you to do that is so you start getting used to
Yeah.
where everything
so many
is.
brakes.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Alright, let's go to... Heathrow.
Okay. That was next to my list, yeah. Definitely don't want to go to Hong Kong. I've heard about Hong Kong. Don't want to go there.
So I've got you for an hour and a half, haven't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so we're actually pointing towards London. So, first thing, what do we do before we take off?
Flaps to 5.
Yep.
That's off. Oh no, that's all good.
That's all good?
That's off. Oh, handbrake.
Yep.
And that's about it.
That's it.
That up to 9. It's right around here somewhere. There. Speed.
Neutral. So you see how quickly the nose can get up? Okay, so just push the nose forward. You're going to keep the throttles where they are at the moment because our nose has gone quite high. Okay, so we've stemmed the speed now. That's good. Reduce your throttles to 60. Then get the landing gear up.
Would the pilot normally do that, or the co-pilot?
The non-flying pilots.
Not flying.
Okay, so
I just asked because it seems a long way away for me to be doing so.
yep. So I mean, if the first officer, it's where I'm sitting, is flying, then it would be the captain's
okay.
responsibility. So what would happen is the first officer would call gear up,
Okay.
and that's the instruction for the non-flying pilot to actually get the gear up.
Okay.
And then you have what they call the flap schedule, so that's reducing the flaps and all that sort of stuff, getting the flaps up, so the aircraft's nice and clean. Okay, flaps back to 50. Sorry, throttles back to 50.
Oh, up.
Okay, now we want to lower the nose a little bit.
Do they ever get like locked together so they move?
We have a thing called auto throttle. Now, when you do all the stuff associated with flight management computer, the autopilot, this is the thing that arms the autopilot, the auto throttle.
Yeah.
When that's turned on, in in the real aircraft, you would see the throttles moving
2,500.
together.
okay, yeah.
Okay, so just going to back our throttles off a little bit more, just a little bit. That's it, that's good. Lower the nose. Just going to come to the left just a little bit. So there's the drive. It's a famous powerhouse. It's still there in London. Okay, it's Hyde Park.
2,500.
I know there's a memorial to Princess Diana. There. So basically what we're aiming for, on our current heading, we're sort of aiming for Big Ben, which is just there. The London Eye, which is a sort of big Ferris wheel.
Yeah. Let's get down a little bit.
So there's Big Ben just there. Houses of Parliament, Westminster Cathedral. That's the London Eye. So if you stay this course, there's the Gherkin just over there. There's Tower Bridge. That's the Tower of London just there. That's London City Airport.
Okay.
That's a challenge to land at.
Oh, okay.
You can give it a go if you want.
No. Not now that you've said that, no. I always just think it'd be nice to take off from one airport and then land in another airport in the same city.
Oh, we can do that.
But not necessarily that one.
All right. So there's the Millennium Dome over there. So what
Oh,
we're
yeah.
going to do, we're going to go. Let's see. So what we're going to do is once we fly over London City Airport, we're going to do a turn to the right. And we're going to head basically southwest. So on the compass, what we're looking at is heading 150. Or what? When it's 15.
Oh. Okay.
Search.
Oh yeah, that's a tiny little runway.
You can do it, but it's a challenge. Okay, so just bring it around to the right a little bit more. it is. See where it says EGKK?
1,000.
That's where we're heading.
1,000.
Yeah, blue lines everywhere.
All right.
This is the white one that I'm aiming for.
There's the white one. So if you just turn and follow that blue one just for a second. Or actually not.
Is it those red lights or?
No, it's a little bit further away. So if you just head towards the pink light moment. So
Am I flying in the direction of the solid white line or the little dashed white, this little dashed white line?
sorry?
Am I flying this way?
Yeah,
or
your
this one's
your
going?
current heading is the solid white line. Okay, so we're about 10 miles from where we want to be. So we're actually going to let's bring the nose up a little bit because this is telling us we're only 600 feet above the ground.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Don't raise the nose too much because your airspeed will wash off quite considerably.
Oh, right, I see.
Give your increase your power up to 50%. Yeah, you can see the solid pink line?
Mm-hmm.
Aim for the solid pink line. Now you can arm the approach, arm the speed brake. We're going to brake to level 2. You see the red lights out there?
Yep.
That's our airport. Okay, bring your foot to 25. Just be careful you don't shorten it too much. There's our runway there. So that's less than 5 miles from where you're going to intersect. You just bring it around to the left just a little bit.
left.
Yep. That's just so we're giving ourselves a little bit more time to line up on the runway. Now's as good as that time as any to get the landing gear down. The wheel.
Why is that
Again, so there's the runway just there. So we're actually turning and we're going to end up just in front of the runway itself on our current heading. So that's why we need to be out to the left a little bit. That's it. Flaps can go to 30. Lower the nose a little bit. That's much better. So just hold this heading just for the moment. Raise the nose up a little bit. Just give us a little bit more power, just a little bit. That's it. You've got a little bit of a right turn going there, so just hold it level. So you've got to hold your nerve. So we're now 5 miles from the runway.
Yep. Turn.
Very gentle turn.
$1,000.
Okay, you're just turning inside the runway there, so you lessen the turn. Lower the nose a little bit. So we're looking for the runway on the left. Just raise the nose up just a fraction. Now wings level. Bring your throttles back just a little bit. That's it, there's plenty. Focus is on the runway. That's it. So there's your 2 white lights, 2 reds. Now, wings level. Raise the nose up a little bit. Perfect, mate. That's good. Just leave everything as it is at the moment.
400.
Now all you've got to focus on, the aircraft is in a stable attitude, stable speed. All you've got to do now is let the aircraft fly to the runway. Maybe touch to the left. Hold it there.
200.
Wings level.
100. Minimum 40, 30, 20, 10.
We've got to pull those up now.
Yep. Yeah, you can't actually, you actually don't touch those until we're actually on the ground.
Yeah. As soon as you hit the ground, or is there a...
Well, once you're steady on the ground,
right.
right, then you can get them up. Okay, they can go off now. Okay, flaps to 0.
You leave those on?
No, they go off.
They go off as soon as you're on the ground.
Yep. Now button back on. And we're going to San Francisco. lefts. It's a nice sunny day. So you got the hang of it now?
I don't know about that, but kind of.
Okay, so
That's off. Handbrake off. Flaps to 5.
yep,
And 90%.
and 90%. So basically what we're going to do, we're going to hold our heading as soon as we take off. You just want to climb over that little ridge line you see in front of us.
Oh yeah.
And rotate. Okay, gear up. Lower the nose. Throttles back to 60%. Okay, now let's just push the nose forward a little bit. So, once we cross the coastline, we're going to get down to about 500 feet. It's almost directly in front of us, and I can just make out the shape of it now. Slightly to the left of the nose is an aircraft carrier. We're going to go into a photo bomb. Okay, so just start lowering the nose. In fact, bring your throttles back to 50%. Lower the nose. Just so the nose of the aircraft's just below the horizon.
Oh, the little black dot is the nose,
Yep.
I assume? Yeah.
Yep. So just bring it around to the left a little bit. Just a little bit more. I'm going to continue to descend. That's good there. Aircraft carrier is just there. So that's where we're heading. So just bring your throttles back down a little bit. It'll help us descend a little bit. So the carrier is directly in front of us. We're still 1,500 feet above the water at the moment.
Oh yes, I can see it. I think I can see it now.
So we want to get down to around, at or below 500 feet.
1,000. Too low. Terrain.
Now you're going to get a lot of warnings, just disregard those.
Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain.
And once we pass the carrier,
Too low.
we're going to raise the nose a little bit. And we're going to do a big right turn. Now, as we go into that turn, we're going to have to
Too
add
low.
power.
Terrain. Too low. Terrain.
Okay.
Too low. Terrain. 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 low, terrain. Too low, terrain.
Up and to the right.
Up and to the right, yep.
So pull
Too low,
back.
terrain.
Turn.
Give yourself power.
Too low, terrain.
Probably up to about, yeah, that's good.
Bank angle, bank angle.
Yeah, just lower the nose a little bit.
Bank angle, bank angle.
Now what we're doing, we're coming around and you see the Golden Gate in front of us. Just straighten up there. Okay, now you can reduce your throttles and bring them right back, about 40%. That's it. Now lower the nose, level the wings. And bring the nose right down. Yeah, you can see where the two spans meet in the middle there.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go under the bridge at that
Under
point.
it.
Yeah. Okay. Now what I want you to do is I want you to bring your throttles all the way back for me.
All the way?
All the way, yep, just for the moment.
Oh, because all the way's not 0, it's 20.
No, it's 20%.
Yeah.
So we're going back to flight idle. But we need to get down. Now we need to be at about 60 to 80 feet above the water
Bank
when we go under the bridge.
Okay.
rate. Bank rate.
Now we're
Bank rate.
1,100 feet above the water
1,000.
and we're descending nicely.
Bank rate.
We've got good speed. Now it thinks we're going to land. That's why it wants the landing gear down.
500,
Bank rate.
Okay. Now start bringing the nose up gently
300,
and start increasing the power.
Full up. Terrain, terrain.
That's good.
Full up. Too low. Terrain.
Okay. Now
Down
just
a little
hold
bit.
it. Just
Too
hold
low.
it
Terrain.
there for the moment. We're at 70 feet.
Too low. Terrain.
At 60 feet.
Too low.
Lower the
Terrain.
nose a touch. So it's just backwards and forwards.
Too low. Terrain.
That's 110. So lower the nose a touch.
Too low. Terrain.
100,
Too low. Terrain.
That's 80, 70, 60.
50,
Too low.
Touch.
Terrain.
30,
That's good.
20.
Touch enough.
10,
That's good. Hold it there. Hold the nerve.
Too low.
Hold the
Terrain.
nerve. Lower the nose a touch.
Too low. Terrain.
That's 60 feet.
Too low. Gear.
Cool.
Too low. Gear.
How good is that? Now just to the right there
Too
is
low.
Alcatraz.
Gear.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
Been there.
okay, now
Too low.
push the throttles
Gear.
forward.
Too low.
That's it.
Gear.
And pull back.
Don't need to pull
Too
back
low.
too much.
Gear.
Okay, you can back the throttles off now.
Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain.
I love San Francisco. I really do. I don't know why. There's something about the place that I really enjoyed. I spent about 5 hours out here in Alcatraz.
I did a tour of the States many years ago and yeah, went to San Francisco and Alcatraz and all those. I like Washington State,
I've been to Seattle. It really was.
state parks and stuff.
It really was a flying visit.
And Wyoming. it was.
1,000,
Okay, so is left. Okay. Okay, so you can see the broken white line. Start turning to the right now, give it a sec. Just raise the nose a little bit.
Oh.
Just raise the nose and give yourself a bit more power. That's fine.
So I want to turn until the solid white line intersects with the white line and the green line.
Yep. So well, you want to be turning just before it. Okay, so you're on a nice intercept there at 10 miles. there.
Oh,
You
right.
see
over
the
there.
two? Yeah, you see the two red lights.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to the one on the left. The airport up in front of us there is Oakland.
I'll probably start turning.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be a great turn. It's a nice turn there for the moment. You know, on the speed brake. And anytime you like, you can get the land here now. Okay. That's not bad. That's pretty good. I like that turn.
Yeah, it doesn't look right here, but down here you can see that it's coming around nicely. Yeah.
It's all about making life easier for yourself. Okay. So when we actually do instrument flying, you learn to believe what the instruments are telling you.
1,000.
Because
Yeah.
if you don't, that'll lead to all sorts of trouble. Now you see that the tail is turned inside the line now. So we start bringing that back a little bit until that tail is right on the line. Now we're descending, so we're going to give ourselves a little bit of power. And that's just to stop the descent. That's it. Doesn't need a lot. We just have to be aware that we've got a lot of speed and only about 7 miles to run. Right?
I can't get it up.
Okay, that's fine now. So we're going to back our power off, lower the nose a little bit. So you know, there's your 2 reds, 2 whites. We go over the runway on the left. Okay, just back your power off a little bit more. That's it. Little turn to the left. Back your power off a touch more. That's it. Now the white lights are indicating that we're now a bit high. That looks pretty good to me there now. So what we do is just raise the nose up a little bit.
1,000.
And we're holding that profile. Right. We've got to get the speed down a little bit to get our flaps down for landing. So you can
back.
reduce your throttles, yeah. Doesn't have to be a lot.
500.
Still focusing on the runway.
Too low. Terrain.
400.
Too low.
That's it.
Terrain.
Oh,
Raise the nose up a little bit.
300.
Too low. Terrain.
Flaps can go to 15.
Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain.
Just raise the nose up a little bit.
Too low. Flat.
Not too much. Then fly to the runway.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Yep. Okay, they can go off now. So flaps to 0.
wait till I stop before doing all that.
Oh, but I mean, while we're slowing down, you can still get the speed brake off and the auto brake to off. That's it. That's RTO, that's rejected takeoff. Okay, and that can go on. And a nice little one to finish with.
Oh. It's off. It's off. It's off. 5 and 90%.
You know that small runway I showed you? That's what I'm taking off from.
Oh, okay. In the rain.
In the rain.
So is 90 good enough?
90's fine, yep. And rotate. Neutralise. Gear up.
That's good, it's look close, geez.
Okay, so there's your Millennium Dome just in front of you there.
Yeah.
So lower the nose and reduce your throttles. So we're basically doing tour of London the other way. And there's Tower Bridge over there. So it's on the left. It's there.
Oh, yeah.
And you can see there's our centre line for the runway at Heathrow. So we're going from London City to Heathrow. There's a better view of the Gherkin. You can see the London Eye much clearer now. Ferris wheel. Okay, so the speed brake. Well, speed brake and auto brake doesn't matter which order.
No, it's not 10.
Put that one 10.
Why is there an off as well as an up and down?
Okay, what normally happens in real life is that they will get the gear up and as part of their after takeoff checks they'll actually lock the gear into the off position.
Oh, okay.
So, and I guess it's like when I say put this in the neutral, that's what we do with the landing gear.
Yeah.
And just be careful you don't turn too soon. We're actually going for the runway on the left at Heathrow. You need to raise the nose a little bit. That's it, not too much. Raise the nose because we're descending.
1,000.
We don't want to be descending at this point. So we're about 600 feet lower than we need to be at this stage. So we don't want the nose going too high because we lose too much speed. So the way we can control it is through power. Okay, now's a good time to get your flaps down with 25. Flaps to 30. Everything's quite stable there at the moment, that's good. Just keeping an eye on our speed. Our speed's washing down a little bit. So to fix that, we just give ourselves a little bit of power. Just raise the nose a touch. Don't raise the nose too much, that's it. Back your power off a little bit. Lower the nose a touch. That's it. Just a little bit to the right. Just a little bit. Raise the nose up a touch.
1,000.
Straighten it up. Raise the nose up a bit.
Up and down all over the place.
Well, don't you? You've actually got, because you've got wind, so we've got a wind coming from that direction there, so this is where it changes up a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? Our speed, everything's good for the moment. So we've got flaps 30,
400.
auto brakes arm, speed breakers arm, just raise the nose up a touch. Focusing on the runway now. Your speed's good. Don't let the nose get too high on you. That's it. Wings level now.
300.
Raise the nose a touch.
200.
Focusing on the runway. Speed's good.
100.
Lower the nose a touch.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Silly truck. Yeah. Okay, reverse is on. So reverse
Reverses.
reverse.
Those ones.
Okay, now flaps to 10 and leave everything. Yep, leave everything where it is.
Cool. That's really good, thank you.
Oh well, we're gonna do one more.
One more. Okay.
Okay. So I just realised we had that little. I had to reboot the computer, so.
Oh, okay. Okay. That was interesting for me as well. So, I'm in IT, so it was interesting to see the behind the scenes a little bit.
Yeah, it's actually it was interesting because I actually shortcut the process and it worked. So that's something I'll have to write down and let the boss know that I didn't have to reboot this computer.
Oh, okay.
So we're two separate computers, so one for the instrumentation and one for the simulator itself. Okay, so here we are. We're about 10 miles out from Sydney.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's a night landing. The bright light you can see directly in front of us is the runway.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so just give you a bit of power. So it's your aeroplane in 3, 2, 1. Alright,
Brakes, that's all set.
so just need a little bit to the right, so you're doing that. And again, we don't need to exaggerate the turn too much. That's good there. Because we're still 10 miles out, so
2,500.
now of note, we're using these little diamonds here. Okay, this one tells us whether we're on the glide slope. So if it goes up, it means we're below the glide slope. So we raise the nose a little bit. The one on the bottom tells us whether we're on the centre line of the runway. So that'll start closing in from the right to the centre. So you can see it's starting to close in now. So just bring your wings level. And as it approaches the centre, we turn it to the left. That's what we're using for when we're instrument flying. So you can now see the runway is a lot better defined.
Yes. I overcorrected and it's gone.
And the thing is you've got to be careful with is that you don't get too involved in watching the instruments, particularly when you can see what's out in front of you. Okay, now we go to flaps 25. Now we're still out to the right at the moment, so swing around to the left a little bit. And again, we don't need to exaggerate the turn too much. Raise your nose up a little bit. So we're closing in on that centre line nicely. And see how the angle is only very slight. So it means that all we have to do is just kick it to the right just a little bit when we're happy that we're close to the centre line. So I'd bring it around to the right just a little bit now. And wings level. So in reality what you're doing is you're just adjusting your wings or your turn very slightly each time you make that correction. Your flaps can go to 30. You're virtually down the guts of the runway, mate, so just raise the nose up just a little bit.
400. 300. 200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Nicely done. Okay, the reverses can go off.
So this is wait till it stops and then handbrake. Oh, and all the other brakes.
Yep. So flaps can go to 0 now.
Oh. That one. I suppose it's probably safety that you can't put the landing gear up.
There's actually, once upon a time you could, but there are sensors in there now that once it gets the weight is on the wheels,
Sensors loaded on wheels.
it won't let you do it.
Makes sense, yeah. Cool.
There you go, mate.
Very good, thank you.
You enjoyed that?
Yes. Oh, that's right. It's a full half.
And then slide to your left.
Slide to the left. I saw this on YouTube or something just recently that it does that.
It's what they call a J-rail.
Oh,